What is the right path for you as a professional nail artist? Is it to stay independent, or is it to go to the next step, which is opening a salon? We're going to cover this topic right now on the Biz Talk. Tracey commented as she was going through all the Biz Talk, she said, every single Biz Talk, all I see is black t-shirt, black t-shirt, black t-shirt. I said, yes, because that's what I wear every single day. Mm-hmm. That's my truth. That's my reality. Do you have a problem with it? I just want to, let's settle this right now. Do you have a problem with my black t-shirt?
I have a problem with you. T-shirt, not so much. As long as it's a different t-shirt. A clean t-shirt, I don't care. I just thought it was funny because I was literally scrolling and it looks like the exact same picture, except for I have different clothes on.
And this is true. All right. Black t-shirts aside, Tracey.
Yes.
This is something that I would think a lot of pros that are maybe further along in their career probably contemplate. Right? Mm-hmm. You get to the point where you build a clientele, and that's hard and difficult itself. You've got this awesome business going, right? You got a full clientele. Yep. Maybe you got your schedule down. You got 4 days a week. You're on automatic.
Yep.
And then you start asking the question, oh my God, am I bored? Am I too content? I'm making money. I need more. Yeah. Now, maybe not everybody, right? I can only speak for myself. I know I would be asking that question for sure because I like the process. I like learning how to do things. So if I built a full clientele, the next thing for me would be, how do I go to the next level, which is a salon? But let's talk about this first. Is it right for everybody? Because now, I know I'm talking my head off right now, not letting her have a word, but I just want to say...
It's typical.
It's typical, it is. Tracey did build a clientele, and then Tracey moved on to owning her own salon. So you've lived both sides, mm-hmm. built successful careers in both areas. Is it for everybody?
No.
That was very quick.
It's a quick answer. No thought. No.
Yeah. Why?
There's a lot of work to it.
Yeah, but somebody that has built their own clientele, that's a lot of work too.
Yeah, but it all depends on what you're content with. And there's nothing wrong with either one, mm-hmm. right? But if some people are like, I built a full clientele, I'm working full time or
right.
whatever schedule they've decided, and that works for my family and it works for me and I'm happy.
End of story.
End of story.
Yeah.
No need to go any further.
But let's talk about, let me ask you this. For people that are wondering, what is the difference? When you say it's a lot of work, what is that jump? When you go from full clientele, independent, built a successful clientele, and you're moving into owning a salon, when you say it's a lot more work, exactly what are you talking about? What is that difference?
You're a glorified janitor. That's pretty much it. No, everything's on you, right?
Everything's on you.
The salon, mm-hmm. Making sure you have the proper place, the proper ventilation, the proper cleaning, the proper atmosphere, the proper environment. And when I say environment, I mean people around you.
Yeah.
You can't just fill it with anybody. Well, you can, but you're going to be filling it over and over and over because right. you really are looking for that team that really meshes well together. And then you're building clientele, even if it's really, for me, mine was, I did booth rent, but I felt responsible in making sure that everybody was busy there.
Sure.
So, it's marketing and making sure my salon name is good and successful and that everybody is also working towards right. making it good and successful. And then toilets.
Were you and toilets too?
And toilets.
That's real. Yeah, you know what? Toilets is a good point because like when you move into that arena of you've got your own space and your own location, you may not think initially that I have to consider toilets, but but you got to consider toilets.
It's actually a very important one. You should think about it.
No, it's huge because it needs to be clean.
It needs to be clean. You need to have toilet paper.
Yeah.
Got to have the cleaning. I mean, there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
I was constantly, even the days I didn't work, dropping by paper towels, toilet paper,
Always.
cleaning supplies, whatever it was, to making sure that everybody had what they want. And remember that they were independent.
Right.
So now picture if they were employees.
Yeah.
You're talking even more work. And then you're talking payroll and you're talking all that tax stuff that goes on top of it.
Yeah, it's a whole nother ball game. So why do it then? If you have your own clientele, why did you do it?
I get bored easy. I really do.
You wanted a challenge.
I like the challenge. I like having an environment that I have control of. For me, it's fun. That feeling of that little feeling of stress.
Yeah, you need it.
I need it. I really thrive off of it.
Yeah.
I look at you sometimes when things are just going crazy, and what do I say? I love this.
Yeah.
I really live for it.
Yeah, you do.
It's just that was it for me. Like being able to challenge myself and go to the next place and the next place, and then after that, I went to distribution because I wanted to go to the next thing.
Right.
So that was my path.
So let me ask you: was the goal like I want to make more money? Was that kind of the goal when you went for Salon, or you want something? You want a new and different challenge, and you want to create like a nail destination really where people can come to? Is that kind of the...
It really wasn't about the money.
Yeah.
Because again, I did booth rent and it was a very small place. The way I had it set up, yes, I made some money and I got my booth rent for free, which means I didn't have to pay rent out of my pocket.
Yeah.
But more it was having that atmosphere and creating something that was special to me and to my clients.
So once you move into that type of business, when you go from independent into salon ownership, right now this is like in my territory of like business where in being independent is still business, but it's you and only you, right? You're it's one employee.
You're managing yourself.
You're managing yourself. Yeah. Correct.
And if you can't do that, don't go getting other people.
The biggest challenge I face is managing my damn self. So that's the hardest. You know, it might be easy for some people. For this guy, I'm still working on that. Okay. But like now you are really dealing with people, because if you're in a salon and you're just booth renting, right? Not just, but I'm just saying compared to ownership, you're not concerned so much. Maybe you are, but you're not responsible.
You can walk away.
You can walk away.
At the end of the day, you pick your stuff up and you go home and you get to shut that part off. You may have your clients and stuff that you're still thinking about, but you're not thinking about
everybody. Yeah. And the location and driving business to the salon. So let's talk about that reality. If you're going to go into salon ownership, the biggest thing is you got to deal with a lot more people. You're going to have more people sort of under your umbrella. And again, if you're doing a booth rent salon, they're not your employees.
Right.
So that is a little bit better. It is, because going into commission, now they're your employees. That is a whole nother ballgame. Like even on the tax side too, payroll taxes, all that stuff gets very complex. Financially, it's a way more complex of a situation, but still, when you're going from independent and you're going to salon ownership, booth rent, you have to now deal with people on a different level. What was that like for you?
A blessing and a curse all at the same time.
Okay.
I mean, it could be. When you get your team, the people around you, the people that are working with you down, it's so enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's very enjoyable. When you all have the same goal, the same mission, you talk with, they're independent, but you're really coming together to create one kind of business plan. It works really well. When you throw someone in there that just cannot be that team player.
Yeah.
I've worked with people that when they walk into the room, you're like, what kind of mood are they in today? Right. It just throws everything off. Like some days they're in a great mood. Right. Next day they're not. And everybody's tense and trying to figure out what kind of mood are they in today. And Or they have different business goals and different ideas of what's appropriate at work. And again, they're independent, so there's a little that can be very hard.
Right, exactly.
And that's when it gets to be kind of miserable.
Even with having employees, still, making sure everybody is following like a dress code, it's still really, really hard.
It is, because you want to be flexible.
Yeah.
You want people to enjoy where they are, but people just take it too far.
Yeah. I'll tell you, like, and this is reality. Like, if you're going to go into salon ownership, it's very romantic. The idea is very romantic. It's like, God, I've always dreamed of having my own salon.
Yep.
You have this vision of like a place where people can come, and it's like, your customers coming in and out, the techs are happy, the customers are happy, everybody's getting the best services, you're providing the best environment and services in the area, and all that is very possible, but you're gonna deal with issues. Like, one of the big things is, nail technician turnover in a salon. This is one of the most difficult things that salon owners face with. It's because, you'll have people come in, they'll learn, and then they go and maybe want to start their own thing or do their own thing. You know what I mean? And I actually I had somebody DM me on Instagram specifically saying, I have this major issue with turnover. I've had a lot of girls come through, and after a year or so, they leave. Yep. How do I keep my team there? And my answer to her was, like, she was looking for ways to like really hard rules, or control, and like maybe really hardcore interview questions of, well, what are you planning in the next 3? And it's like, you can't do that.
Yep. There's people that really want you to even sign an agreement that you won't compete
non-compete.
And it's like, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. If you have a good environment,
right,
and there has to be rules. And people need rules.
Right.
They thrive on rules, as long as they're fair rules. If you have an environment like that and you pay fair,
right,
and you treat the employees fair,
right,
and we've talked about this before, I truly don't believe in going too far into the friend realm, as far as going out every night with them or doing.
Sure.
I've seen that, and that can backfire. Now, some of you may be doing it and it works great for you.
Sure.
But I liked that little, like, we get along about every 3 months. We're going to go have drinks and maybe a dinner and show my appreciation for you guys because you're amazing.
Right.
But I want to go home and spend time with my family. That's my goal. I liked that separation. If you're doing all that, your turnover will be minimal.
Yeah.
Now, people look to expand. There are people that want to take that path and grow in their business. And so some of those people are going to leave. And if they do me a favor, I've seen this, don't just kick them out that day. Get out. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
You never know when you're going to be across from them. They're a good person. They just want to take the same path you did. In fact, take it as a compliment. They want to follow your footsteps.
That's right.
And wish them the best.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, we've had so many people come through Young Nails where we had somebody a couple years back, amazing in the warehouse, like a phenomenal guy, very dependable, hardworking. He came to me and told me, he's like, I'm leaving. And I was like, why? And
no.
Yeah, basically I was like, oh my God, my heart like sank, because he was such a good guy and he did such good work. And he said, I want to start my own business. Yeah. And I was like, congratulations, awesome. Go make something for yourself. Yep. Do it, and if you found some kind of inspiration here, that makes me so happy to know. And, he went off and he did it, and I was really, really happy for him. We had somebody else recently that left, and she wanted to start on her own path, her own creative journey. And it was like, I'm so excited for you.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean? I'm very, very, very much so. That's part of the business. I think what you said, Tracey, is so, so true. Like, I am very focused on our team here. It's really important to me that people are happy here.
Yeah.
We have an environment and a company culture here that is, there's a lot of laughs. There's a lot of like jokes, and it's
kind of takes people back sometimes.
It does.
When they walk in because they're like, do they not get anything done? But
yeah. No, but then on the flip side, it's a very hardworking environment, but we don't micromanage.
No.
We allow our managers to really build their teams. Mm-hmm. And we put it on the managers to take on these challenges
with support.
We are literally, you tell them, we're here for you to support. Now, a lot of times it's hard, right? Because communication is like the biggest thing. So like really communicating with your team and understanding what they need to grow their areas. And in the salon environment, it's really communicating well with, you know, your pro nail artists that are there and what they need to thrive, you know, in their position. And let's say you have a star nail tech, somebody that's like really growing, and let's say they're on commission. I would change that commission structure. Like, hey, you're doing good. We hope you enjoy the environment here. We'd love to bump up your commission. You know, what we did here at Young Nails, that no small business does, is we went across the board and just basically said, we're going to offer like 99.9% of healthcare for all of our employees. Anybody that comes to Young Nails and works here, they get full health insurance benefit. It's not 100%. It's like 99.9 or something. Like it's very minimal. It's very minimal. And insurance companies have told me all the time, like, why are you doing this? You're the only small bit, like nobody does this. It's not required of me. I said, I know it's not required of me, but like, it's important to me because I want to take care of our team. You know, I want them to, I want to provide a good environment so they can stay.
And I truly appreciate that because it literally, I truly believe it saved my life.
Right.
So I'm very grateful to that because I've never worked anywhere that offered that.
Right.
Especially when I was my own owner, because I didn't offer that to myself.
Well, it's hard. I mean, I'm not saying if you're a salon owner, do that because it's very expensive. But what I am saying is that the whole point is the point you made, good environment, you know, and communication, I think, is really essential.
But what about this? I mean, there are going to be people, I had it in Salon that it just didn't work out. And they
with certain
techs that were working for me.
Booth renting.
Yep. They're not for me. So they're working in my place. Or they left, or I think actually nobody ever left. I had to boot a couple out.
Okay.
And the salon that I first originally went to work for, she literally had just had a complete walkout.
Of everybody?
Of 9 stations.
Wow.
Yeah. And because there was a little bit of a toxic environment going on, but that really could have defined her, you know, as far as in the industry.
Literally 9 techs. She had nobody except for herself.
Nobody stayed.
What did she do?
She rebuilt. She started looking again, but it really started making her, and she's the nicest person in the world, but you know, that could really affect a person.
Dude,
so when
that'll wreck. Most people would crumble under that. That would wreck somebody. Yeah. I mean, props to her.
But there are people sometimes that leave. Like, does that mean that you're running the business incorrectly?
Right. I think it's a really good point. And so, like, Tracey knows. Tracy's our general manager, and I think she's bringing this up because we've experienced something recently. We've had, we've been going through a massive change in our business in so many ways, and we just did this big software change in our accounting inventory system. It's been a nightmare, and I've literally had 4 people leave the business, like a walkout, pretty much a walkout. Different situations, each one, but like. In one situation, one department just gone. You know what I mean? It was like, oh my God. And of course, initially it's like, okay, does it make me think about us? Of course it does. I think about it. And then I go through and it's like, in this situation, I really believe it just wasn't the right fit.
Right.
You know, like our company culture and these people, it just wasn't a fit.
Right.
And we have a very specific company culture. It's a very hardworking environment. For whatever reason, it just didn't fit. And it took, sometimes when you make a huge change in your business, people are going to leave.
People are leaving.
Yeah.
But that's really, whether it's this business or salon, it's part of doing business and kind of preparing people for it, wanting to take that path.
Yeah.
It could, if you're not used to that, or you are one of those people that really are like, everybody likes me, I don't like it when somebody doesn't like me, then that might not be the path. You have to expect this kind of thing. You have to be prepared for it, because it does happen.
It challenges your confidence. It challenges, who you are. If you're the owner, you're constantly being challenged by, am I making the right decision? Every day I'm challenged with that.
Second guessing.
Yeah. Second guessing. And I've literally committed myself. It's like, once I make a decision, I'm going, and we're rolling with it full force. And then I don't know if it's the right decision. I'm making an educated guess and hoping, and I go a lot by feel. And if it is, awesome, we keep rolling with it. If it's not, I don't hesitate. It's like, we have to stop doing this and we have to change it and try something else.
Right.
That is, for me, that is the absolute key. Too many, as a salon owner, if you keep rolling, and let's say you bring some people on that are not a good fit, or you decide to, try a program or a software, and you're just going along with it, you're going to die. Like, it's going to hurt you so bad. You've got to be able to, when things are not right, you have to be able to stop and say, this is not working. This person's not working. You've got to make that change. You've got to keep pushing forward.
Yep. You got to make the changes, or you won't be in business.
Yeah, you won't. And it's why business, there's so many different levels of business. Building a clientele is hard, period.
Extremely.
Very hard. That's why the success of, becoming a successful nail technician it's really, really challenging. When you talk to how many people have full clienteles, it's hard to do. Going to that next level of building a salon is really hard to do. Really hard. The next level of building multiple locations of a salon is really hard to do, because it requires that you've got to make tough decisions, and I always have said this. If anytime you come across a decision that's really hard, it's usually whatever, how do I say this? Making the right decision is always extremely, extremely, extremely difficult. And it's usually the most simple, route that you're going to go. But it's so hard to do.
And it might be a different path for you than it is someone else, right?
For sure.
Because it's a personal decision.
It is. It's a personal decision. Especially if there's somebody at your company or your salon that it's toxic and they got to go. The answer, it's very simple, but actually doing it is really a very difficult thing to do. But at the end of the day, you've got to make these tough decisions. That's what it means to be a salon owner. So if you're thinking about being a salon owner, you have to take these things into consideration. And if you're currently a salon owner, I would love, and Tracey would love, if you comment below, what are the challenges that you have faced with owning a salon? What that transition going from independent into salon, or if you just jumped into salon, ownership straight out and you did it from the beginning, tell us all about the difficulties. And
what you love.
Yeah, and what you love about it. Absolutely.
For me, I loved it. There's all those challenges you have to expect, but I really did love it.
Yeah, no, you have to love it to deal with the difficult situations. I mean, I would have it no other way myself. So let us know. We'd love to hear about it. With that, say thank you for joining us, and we will see you next week on the Biz Talk.